So, hi, I'm Kath Robinson. I'm based in Berlin and I work with business professionals who are currently struggling speaking English at work. I decided to do Design to Flourish because I was really struggling to get enough of the right clients and I was feeling quite lost, kind of floundering about on my own, knowing that lots of things weren't right, but not knowing how to make them right. I had been aware of Rachel for probably a year and a half before I joined the course. I'd been to several training sessions, and I just found that Rachel always spoke so much sense. And after going to all the workshops, it was always like, that was so obvious. But somehow on my own, I just couldn't quite get there myself. And I think that's actually always a sign of a really good trainer who makes it all, yeah, in hindsight, suddenly it all seems so obvious and it just made everything fall into place. So, yeah, I liked her clear, calm, very organized way of working. So I first thought about joining the course probably a year before I did. Uh, and then Rachel told me how much it was, and I went very quiet for a very long time as I slowly digested this huge amount of money, which because I couldn't get my offer right, I wasn't earning very much, so it also seemed particularly big. But as time went on, I realised I kind of had to bite the bullet, and by spending this money, I would eventually be able to earn it back multiple times over, hopefully. So, yeah, it took me a while to come around to realizing that investing that much in my business was the right thing to do. But in the end, I did. I think the first benefit was definitely getting a much better idea of who my ideal client is. Interestingly, I didn't really realize quite how far along I'd got with this until quite recently. I was going back and reviewing something I'd written a year ago or 18 months ago before I did the course. And God, I was so general because I was just talking about business English. Um, and obviously, business English is this massive area, and what I do is very specific. So I think, yeah, getting a much better idea of my niche. Um, the course has definitely made me much more strategic in my approach to business. So rather than just throwing stuff and hoping some of it stick, actually assessing it and taking the time to really work out what was working and what wasn't. I had several aha moments on the course. Probably the biggest and most helpful for me was to realize that to launch a new course, you don't need to have the finished all singing, all dancing course ready. In fact, you probably shouldn't. You just need a minimum viable product. And then, you see what works, you see what doesn't, you learn what you have to spend money on and what you don't, and you get lots of feedback uh, and all the things you couldn't possibly have thought of beforehand. So probably without the course, I'd still be working out how to launch my Just Talk Club and what it should look like, and going through all those things. I had several things with the course exceeded my expectations or surprised me. Something that I found very, very useful that I hadn't realized was included was the unit on time management and efficiency. And I realized the best, most valuable time of the week when my brain was at its best, I'd put aside to do all my boring admin. So that was not going to change my bank balance much. I also hadn't really thought about working with other people in the group calls, and I made some great connections, and our intake are all still in contact, and we meet month and month and we talk about how we're doing. So that's been a good benefit. And in terms of surprised, Rachel always surprised me actually by just quite how far she was willing to help us and how generous she was with her time and her ideas. I think if you're someone who knows you're a good teacher and has got a great idea, but just somehow can't get your business working for you, I think Rachel's course is it's worth its weight in gold. And I think I've got probably lifelong lessons from it that, not only have changed what I'm doing in the short term, but in terms of, what I can use going forward with my business, it's made the world of difference.